Airlines Flight 11 hit the North Tower. Then the start of reading the names. It's an incredible thing to listen to. At 9:03, the second moment of silence when United Airlines Flight 175 struck the South Tower. That, by the way, coming in right now is President Biden, along with Vice President Harris and Mayor Bloomberg in front of him. Right there, you're going to see a lot of familiar faces, a lot of officials. And there's a close-up of the President, Vice President, and Governor Hochul of New York. Another pause, by the way, at 9:37 to remember victims in the attack in Washington, D.C. when American Airlines Flight 77 crashed into the Pentagon. At 9:59, a fourth moment of silence marking when the South Tower collapsed. And at 10:03, a pause again to remember victims of the crash of the hijacked United Airlines Flight 93, which crashed into Shanksville, Pennsylvania.
Former President Donald Trump and current GOP Vice Presidential nominee J.D. Vance, among other political leaders, there.
Arriving as Michael Bloomberg there, former mayor of New York City there in the middle, and Senator Kirsten Gillibrand there on the far left. Certainly many elected officials, dignitaries attending this solemn ceremony, as many of them have done in years past.
Nearly 500 Long Islanders died on 9.
It's because that's a part of commemorating what happened and the memorial itself. But more of the next generation are participating in the ceremony now. So there always has been a multi-generational aspect of the people remembering what happened on 9/11. It affected people of all ages. People of all ages were killed. And the ceremony today will have more people who weren't alive at the time that the people lived who were killed that day. So it is changing in that regard.
And I'm sure the palpable feeling is palpable to you too.
Yeah, the feelings definitely bring a lot of memories back from 23 years ago. I was a third grader at the time. My dad actually had a meeting in the World Trade Center on that morning. It was a at-home debate that him and I had that would actually delay him that morning. And thankfully, he is still with us today. So definitely a lot of memories being here now, standing here as a man and remembering the life and the legacy of all of these many victims and whose names that we'll hear just shared in just a couple of minutes. 23 years ago, our nation was under attack, and this date is forever etched in the minds of Americans. I want to get straight to some live pictures.
Remember and teach our kids and grandkids about this day.
Disclosed to the general public. Donald Trump, Senator J.D. Vance, Governor Kathy Hochul, Senator Chuck Schumer, A.G. Tish James, our former mayors of Mike Bloomberg and Bill de Blasio, and are also expected in attendance this morning. And we heard has arrived President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris. Now let's take a listen to some of our city's leadership as they reflect on 9/11 23 years later and those who have made the ultimate sacrifice.
This is a sad and solemn day for the FDNY. We lost.
The former president is Michael Bloomberg, the former mayor of New York City. So many dignitaries coming to pay their respects, and in this time of political division in this country, if you will, this is one of the few events where I think everybody shows up, does the right thing, honor those who were lost, and make sure that we come together as Americans. That's one of the things that stands out to me so much. If you go back to that time, I think this country, at least to me, in my generation, felt as unified as it ever did, and it's changed so much since then.
We came together in the days after that. New York City was.
Harris and Senator Chuck Schumer and Senator Kirsten Gillibrand as well.
We should also point out we weren't knocked out.
Bill, 23 years later, and we will never forget. In Lower Manhattan, I'm Phil Tate, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
All right, good to hear from you. Thank you for that perspective, Phil. Nearly 500 of those killed in the Twin Towers lived on Long Island. Eyewitness News reporter Kristen Thorne, as she has for several years, is live at Point Lookout in Nassau County, where a memorial service started about an hour ago. Kristen.
But that was it. And it was just like
This was Linda Beccaro was there with the
on the World Trade Center. Situated on a berm, the parallel walls are engraved with the names of the victims and are positioned to face the former World Trade Center site.
And to Point Lookout, Long Island now, nearly 500 Long Islanders lost their lives on 9/11. They return to this beach every year for
of steel that rise 80 feet into the sky. There's also
up here are coming off the tragedy who have 9/11 related illnesses, and that was a topic that was discussed here again today, and something that everybody wants people to keep in mind. No matter what brings people here today and brought them here today, it was important for them to be here.
It's 23 years. I'm glad to see that people are still here remembering.